Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today it's about a brand new series called What If Belle Was Able to Summon Heroic Spirits. So yeah, this is pretty much a simple idea. Basically, take Belle, giving him the abilities of, a mage from, Fate Grand Order or anywhere in the Fate series, then boom. Yeah, oh boy. And because all of you voted on, several of the heroic spirits that, Belle will have, well, we already had them. I already got on the list. Let me just get it. Alright, we're gonna be starting off with, well, the origin of, Belle. Well, more specifically, how he first got his ability to summon heroic spirits. So let us begin the actual story, shall we, ladies and gents? And I finally got on the list, and yeah. So, let's begin, shall we, ladies and gents? So, we go to a different perspective, unlike Belle's. So, we go to the Fate Grand Order universe. Currently, after the whole arc between, Kaido or Gudao, or whatever you want to call him. I'm just gonna call him, I'm just gonna be calling him, Fujimaru, because it's a little bit easier than calling him Gudao or Gudo, or whatever you want to call him. So, we see Fujimaru after the final battle between them and the alien god, which, spoiler alert, sort of spoiler alert, I mean, it's not really, but still. So, after their battle, they're currently celebrating as they're basically drinking and having a lot of fun. But, unbeknownst to them, a certain boy is currently still locked up, aka Belle, aka a pseudo servant, similar to Mash over there. You see, apparently, Miss Kirillite over there, aka, Mash, is not the only designer baby. Apparently, Belle was meant to be the prototype, as in, the sort of, predecessor for, Mash. And because of this, he was locked up for that reason. And after, the destruction of, wait for a second, what's the name? Otherwise known as Chaldea. So, because of this, they sort of forgotten him. And also, Roman currently, dead. And knowing that he's still alive, sort of, in that, special coffin of his, well, oh boy, let's just say, if Belle were to wake up, he's definitely gonna break everything imaginable, and he would probably cause a lot of chaos, and would probably want revenge. Mostly on Roman and probably Mash, for basically replacing him. Oh boy. And currently, Izuku is... not Izuku, I meant Belle! No, not again! So, we currently, see Belle still pretty much locked in stasis. As, while they're pretty much celebrating upstairs, currently, let's just say, a few servants came by. And these few servants were pretty much the idiot ones. You probably know who they are. These are Blackbeard and Cucullin. I mean, Cucullin is pretty much not an idiot, but I'm gonna go for the prototype version of him. So, yeah, both of them are complete idiots. Like, just imagine frat boys, but a little bit worse. So, as they're currently walking around, still pretty much drunk, like literally drinking booze, they would basically walk into the large, testing room where apparently not Izuku, I meant Belle is. God dang it! So, as they currently are basically drunk and basically, going around, and by the way, Belle is a baby. Yeah, he's basically a baby, and if you're asking, no, he doesn't have, the whole, he's going to be, that he has a few days to live, like for say about, about 15. Instead, he was supposed to be, maybe about, have the same lifespan as a regular human, but because of his failure, and also forgetting about him, and also, replacing him, well, they forgot about that, and now MASH basically had that, sort of restriction. But thankfully, she did get, actually, I'm not going to say it because it's probably a spoiler for all of you guys, even though it's basically a pretty old game. Yeah. So, we currently, see both Blackbeard and, Kukulin Proto, or Prototype. I don't really know what to call him. I'm just gonna call him P. Kukulin. Yeah, Piku. I know, Piku. Why not? Do not make those jokes, I swear to God. As currently Piku and also, and Blackbeard are basically going around the place. They would say, "Hey, Ku, what is going on here? Where are we exactly?" Let's just say this. I don't know. I think we're some sort of, I think bathroom? As one of them would say this. I think we're in a bathroom, or at least I think so, he would say. As he would look over and would see the large capsule where Belle is currently, still a baby, like maybe about a few months old in appearance. As after seeing it, his mind would go to, yes, that's the toilet. As when he was, walking up to it, he would basically pull down his pants and would start pissing. Oh boy! God dang it! As while he was basically taking a piss, Kukulin would start pressing some buttons. Yeah, oh boy. And by the way, if you're asking, no, in the, list of like, in the list of like all of the hero experience that, Belle is going to get, some of them, Fujimaru didn't really, met. Like, for example, Burgeist and, Melusine. Emiya, they sort of met. I mean, sort of. Europa, also a good example. Gilgamesh Caster, or I'm just going to call him Good Gilgamesh. And other types of stuff like that. So, as they're basically, fooling around, Kukulin would press a weird looking button. As when it did, several red lights would appear as it would start ringing out saying, "Emergency, emergency." After hearing this, they would say, "What the heck is going on?" said, Blackbeard and his drunken ass state. As when it did, the capsule would basically be drained as Belle would disappear into some sort of portal. After that, one of them would say, "Hey, why is the water rising?" said, Kukulin, or just, PQ. After saying that, a few people would basically run in, specifically a few heroic spirits. Specifically, Scotty, Scotty, Skahawk, I'm just gonna be calling him, Skahawk, because, Scotty's there, and, a certain other heroic spirit, aka Arturia Alter. As they would say, "What the heck is going on?" After seeing that, they would say, "Oh, you drunken idiots!" After saying that, they would basically bring him back to the party. Unbeknownst to them, Belle is gone. So, as Belle was basically dropped off to a little area, or at least a little area in the forest, we currently see a few people basically walking up to the baby. After seeing it, as one of them would say this, "Hey, honey, what is that?" As one of them would say this, "I think it's a baby," said a girl with whitish hair and, brownish eyes. And and the man would say this, "Oh, I see. I didn't know that a baby would basically appear out of nowhere," said the man with red eyes and somewhat, blackish hair. As she would say this, "Yeah," she would say, as she would look at the baby, as the baby would have similar red hair, not really red hair, I meant similar whitish hair, and let's just say, sorry about that, as we currently see, the man would say this, "Huh, weird. And he has the same hair and eye color as you. After saying that, she would say this. Yeah, it seems so. Huh. Maybe we should tell Zeus to basically... As one of them would say this. Yeah. I mean, they definitely look like our child. Or at least sort of. I mean, I think he's sort of gone your appearance. And so of mine. As she would say this. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, we should probably pick him up now. As he would say this. Yeah, we should. After grabbing the baby, the baby would start waking up. Showing off two different colored eyes. One completely blood red, similar to, the man, and the other almost a bluish, a cold blue, almost similar to ice. After seeing them, seeing those eyes, she would say, "Whoa, they look absolutely beautiful." And unbeknownst to that, the glowing blue eye, well, apparently that's a mystic eye. Let me explain. You know the dojutsus in Naruto? Well, they basically have, apparently Fate Grand Order and the entire, Fate universe also have their equivalent. They're known as mystic eyes. It's basically what you think. Basically eyes with special powers. Like, for example, well, I can't remember her name, but I think I remember one of the characters in one of the Fate franchises. I think it was called, Lord Emuloy Case Files. I kind of forgotten, because I didn't really like that show all that much. Don't offend me or anything like that. I just don't really like it all that much. I'm not really interested into, sort of mystery-based stuff or something of that sort. But either way, just imagine it as just like that mystic eyes, or those types of mystic eyes. Apparently, this mystic eye allows the person, well, the ability to summon heroic spirits without using a freaking, how do I say this? Yeah, without even using a similar thing to, Mash's, shield, aka the table of the round table, aka that shield, or even allowing a person to basically let's just say if it's not the Holy Grail War, with that specific mystic eye, you're basically able to summon a heroic spirit. No mana cost, no anything of cost. That's it. Yeah. And let's just say those eyes are pretty valuable, and that is why the Mages Association basically killed the person who wielded that eye specifically, and basically took it. And basically gave it to Chaldea. Oh boy. And because they lost that resource, oh boy, that's definitely gonna be a bad idea, basically leaving it with a child. Oh boy. And because of that, they basically took in the child, aka both of them, aka, Bell's new mother and father, and would basically raise him. But after a few years, their familia would basically be destroyed, as, both of their children, both mother and father would basically tell their god to basically, act as like a grandfather figure towards him. And because they're dying, to basically act as, his, godfather. After that, they would die, and Zeus would basically go into hiding, which, yeah, that's the Zeus familia. So, Zeus would basically take Bell in and would teach him how to do some stuff, like, for example, how to fight, which I meant Bell, aka Bell would sort of know how to do instinctively. Mostly because, remember, he is a sort of like pseudo-spirit, or heroic spirit, sort of. In this case, he's fused with a few heroic spirits, like, for example... Okay, let me say this. One of these heroic spirits is not like the other. Let's just say that. In this case, he has the heroic spirits of, Huitzilopochtli, aka one of the gods of Aztec mythology, aka the new sun god. Yep. And it makes him a pretty good swordsman. Then there's, the other one, aka the second last one, aka Aleister Crowley, aka one of the most famous magicians or occultists imaginable. And it basically allows him to basically use a lot of magic. Not the magic of this world, but magic from Vagrant Order's world, which, if you know, Vagrant Order's world's magic is, let's just say, overpowered as hell. Like, for example, take for an example, Archer's Noble Phantasm, in this case, the Broken Phantasms. Or for another example, Hassan's, or King Hassan's, Azrael. Or for another example, Da Vinci's, Unamu Universale, which is basically creating a universe and basically exploding it onto the actual opponent. Yeah, and not only that, they can probably level freaking cities and level freaking villages. And probably even level a freaking universe, in fact. Yeah. Oh boy. Let's just say Bell is going to be overpowered. And it's not helping that he's basically able to summon heroic spirits, which he already voted on, some of the polls that I made. And because of this, Zeus was pretty proud of him, basically learning all of these techniques. Even though it's more like it's an unconscious thing, thanks to help with the heroic spirits are basically fused to him. I meant Bell, goddammit! Bell would sort of gain this almost sort of cocky personality, and would have the scars to show it. Even though he was pretty young when he first started out, wait for a second, which are, let's just say he was a bit cocky. Like, almost similar to Bet, but not as much. Just imagine, one of those, cocky anime characters, like, for example, Arnold Voldegone from, Misfit. I can't remember the actual name of the anime, but I did watch it that one time, which, by the way, I sort of like it, but it was not really in my top 10. So, yeah. He would sort of have this, sort of cocky personality, and would have the scars to show it. Even though he was, sort of young at the time, he sort of fought off several, monsters when he was still young. Maybe about, 10-ish. Yeah. He basically fought off monsters when he was freaking 10! Yeah, oh boy, let's just say he was pretty powerful at the time. Oh god. And while not Izuku, I meant Bell, goddammit. Because Bell was that powerful, let's just say the villagers started calling him one of the most strongest adventurers imaginable. Because he was 10. And even called him a prodigy, similar to Itachi, but either way, as Bell was basically reaching his, when he was about to reach 14, he would hear about his grandfather's, death. Apparently he was hiding the sickness from him for a long time now to basically not worry him. And because of this, he will lose his father. Or sort of, grandfather. And after that, he wanted to basically train a lot more, to basically become an adventurer. But one day, we basically go into a different perspective. In this case, finally, Bell. As Bell is basically, going around this little town, basically, after killing some monsters and basically bringing those monster cards to a little, locally made, sort of guild, sort of. He would basically get some money from them and would start, aka, Valis, as he would start leaving to go home. While he was going home, he would start, feel a little bit weird, to say the least. As, after feeling this almost weird presence, Bell would just, unconsciously start doing something. Bell would basically stand up, he's basically back at his house, by the way. After unconsciously, standing up from his, chair after eating, lunch, he would start going outside as he would start to prick his finger. After doing so, he would start making something from his blood. It seems to be some sort of summoning circle, and after doing so, Bell would start saying a chant. I'm not going to be saying the whole chant because I'm too lazy for it, and also I'm currently busy with, some lectures. Which, by the way, pretty much hell! So, because of this, Bell would basically, hold up his hand as he would start doing a chant. a chant that would basically allow him to summon heroic spirits. And after doing so, Bell would basically get off his, little, state and would basically, see the weird looking symbol that he created, as lights and sparkles would basically appear. And after a while, a huge explosion would basically happen, but, for some odd reason, many people would just freaking ignore it. Yeah, there's a pretty big plot hole, like a pretty big fucking plot hole in all of the Fate series. Like, how in the flying... Actually, I'm not gonna say it. Actually, I'm not gonna freaking say it. How in the, actual freaking hell does nobody, and I mean nobody, notice the freaking fighting? Like, for example, during the Fuyuki, Holy Grail War, during Fate Stay Night, specifically in the, actually any route sort of, he was basically fighting against, Archer and also, Berserker. And how did nobody hear the large explosion created by the Broken Noble Phantasm by, by Archer, no less? Yeah, how in the hell would that work? Are they that deaf? Or, here's a cat. That's a great news story, I guess. When you can clearly see a gigantic ass freaking explosion happening in the background. Okay. Yeah. Oh boy. Let's just say it's a bit stupid in my head, but either way, we go to see Izuku basically, after doing this little ritual, this light would slowly fade, as after I meant Bell would basically, covers, his face with his forearm and would basically, get it off him. After looking at the destruction that was created, he would look at the three figures that appeared. One person seems to be some sort of woman, wearing, you would see a blonde girl. Pretty tall, and actually pretty tall. Like about, let's just say 7 feet tall. Yeah, pretty huge. And not only that, she seems to be wielding a dark sword, emitting this dark energy. And she seems to be wearing some sort of dress, and she has some pretty thick thighs, to say the least. And her bust is also pretty huge. She also seems to be wielding a crown, but it's also emitting the same weird energy as her sword, almost resembling dog ears, sort of, as one of her arms seems to be covered in this weird looking armor, which almost resembles some sort of beast-like head, with horns on it. The other seems to be a man, with dark skin and white hair, which, sort of became sort of really short, like to the point that he's almost bald. He seems to also have dark skin and also, have golden eyes. Like so golden that they almost resemble actual gold. He also seems to be wearing a black coat, which doesn't cover his chest and back. Only just his, actual arms and sort of neck. It also seems that he's also, have designs. Golden color to be more specific. Black pants and a blackish, how do I say this? He seems to have two different weapons. All of them seem to be black. But not only that, white and red, specifically, in each color of these weapons. They seem to resemble these, whatever they are, they seem to also have blades, but he doesn't know those types of weapons before. And the final person seems to be a little girl. And the final person seems to be a small girl, maybe about 10 to maybe, maybe about 10 to 11 years old. And she seems to have the same white hair and, red, not really red eyes, but I mean, golden, silverish eyes to the other guy. As she also seems to be wielding weird looking weaponry. They almost resemble, how do I say this? They sort of resemble gauntlets, sort of, but not only that, they sort of also resemble scabbards. She also seems to be wearing a blue dress and some white stockings, and wearing, blue high-heeled boots. Not only that, she seems to be almost graceful in her, how do we say this, in her position. As one of them would say this, specifically the tall-ass girl with the glowing red-ass sword with a bit of black in it. She would say this. Well then, may I ask you, are you our master? As the man with with the dark skin would say this. Yes, are you perhaps our master? He would say, loading up these weird-looking weapons with the blades on them. As she would say this. Well then, you are our master, right? She would say. As when Belle saw them, Belle would say this. Who are you? As she would say this, specifically the tall-ass girl with the weird-looking, blade. As she would say this. Just call me Saber. And that must be, as the dark-skinned man would say this. Call me Archer. As he would basically wield up these weird-looking weapons. As he puts them back in his scabbards, sort of to him. As the girl would say this. You may call me Lancer, but you may call me by my true name, Melusine. After saying that, Belle would say this. Then, hello there, Miss Saber and Archer, and I guess Melusine? She would say this. Yes. After saying this, Belle would say this. Then, what are you? As one of them would say this. Like we said the dark-skinned man. We are your servants, or heroic spirits that will serve under you and protect you. After hearing this, Belle would say this. Oh, I see. Then, you can come with me, I guess? I mean, actually, do you have somewhere to live, or as one of them would say this? No, we don't really have anywhere to live, said the large-ass girl by the name of Saber. After hearing this, Belle would say this. Ah, I see, then. After hearing this, Belle would start leaving, and would told them to follow him. After being told of this, they would walk to his cabin, as one of them would say this. So perhaps this is your home, right? Said, Archer, as Belle would say this. Yeah, you can stay around here. I'll be getting you dinner later. After all, we've just, I just finished eating lunch, so, as one of them would say this. Oh, we don't really need to eat any food. Said, the Saber, or Saber in this case, as he would say this. Really? As she would say this. Yeah, we don't really need to eat anything, we just need to stay with you. We're basically, nothing but servants and protectors to you. As Izzy would say this. I see then. Huh. Anyway, I should, tell you guys what's my name. After saying this, not Izuku, I meant Belle. Belle would say this. The name's Belle Cornell. But, people just call me Belle. As one of them would say this. Very well, Belle, said Saber. Archer would say this. Fine then, Belle. As Melusine would say this. Sure, Belle, she would say. As Belle would say this. Good. Now, anyway, because it's, about time, we should probably, I should probably start getting ready for training. After saying that, Belle would say this. You can do whatever you want, but I will just be training for now. After saying this, all of them would agree. And so, Belle would start leaving to go training. A few hours later, as currently Belle is finishing up training, Belle would say this. I think it's time for me to get breakfast. I meant dinner. After saying this, Belle would start leaving, as while he was leaving the forest, he would basically, feel that something is happening right now. After getting back in the house, or his cabin, he would see all three of his so-called servants are currently, there. Basically sitting down with each other in the dining room table, as Belle would say this. So, what happened? As Melusine would say this. Well, Belle, we decided to do this then. She would say, as Belle would say this, then what is it? As she would say this. Well, because I heard that you're leaving to go somewhere, As Bo would say this. Wait, how did you know? As she would say this. Well, we heard that your father or grandfather seems to be dead, and I heard that you're planning to leave the village so you can, do your own thing and become an adventurer. After hearing this, Bo would say this. But how did you? As she would say this. Well, we are connected to you. Ever since you summoned us, we sort of became linked with you. As Bo would say this. Well, that seems a bit weird. As she would say this. Oh, don't worry. Besides, we're not that creepy. As he would say that, specifically Archer. Yeah, trust me. We don't really do that type of thing. It's a bit unconsciously. We unconsciously do that, to be more specific. As Bo would say this. I see, but it's pretty still weird. As he would say this. Whatever he would say. As Bo would say this. Anyway, so, may I ask, you, as you would basically point at, at Burgeist, as Burgeist would say this. As in Saber. God dang it. So, yeah, Burgeist is aka Saber. So, Saber would say this. Yeah, Master, she would say, as both of this. I told you just to call me, Belle. And by the way, what is your actual name? I know that you're probably faking it. As she would say this. Oh, yeah. I guess it's time for me to show you my true name then. After saying this, Belle would say this. Then what is your true name exactly? As she would say this. My name is Burgeist. As after hearing this, Belle would say this. Well then, Burgeist. Then what about you, Archer? As you would say this. You can call me Nameless, but I prefer to be called by Emiya. After hearing this, Belle would say this. Very well, Emiya. After saying this, he would say this. Then, what are you perhaps doing after this? After a little training session. As Belle would say this. Oh, I'm gonna be eating dinner. As he would say this. Then may I help you with the preparations for dinner? As Belle would say this. Sure. Actually, I've been wanting to get some help for a while now. As he would say this. Very well then. After saying this, both of them would start leaving to go get ready to prepare dinner. As Belle was basically walking around, Belle would say this. So, hey, Mr. Emiya? As Emiya would say this. Yes, Belle? As Belle would say this. Well, what about your clothes? It's a bit, weird, to say the least. As you would say this. Well then, if you want me to change then. After hearing this, Belle would see in astonished eyes that he would start changing his clothes instantly. As his clothes would resemble, just imagine, regular MES clothes, but, red with gold instead of, not red with gold, I meant black with gold instead of, red and silver. Instead, it's just black and gold. After seeing it, Belle would say this. Whoa, that's pretty interesting. As he would say this. Yeah. Anyway, so is there a marketplace nearby? As he would say this. Oh, sure. And by the way, here, after, grabbing something from his pocket, he would basically give him some Valis. As he would say this. Is this perhaps the courtesy of this world? As Belle would say this. Yeah, it's called Valis. As after hearing this, he would say this. I guess so. Then we should probably get going. A few hours later. So, after arriving back, Belle would see, all of them. AKA, both Melusine and Burgeist. As Burgeist would say this. Ah, you're back. As Belle would say this. Yeah, and we got a lot of food. And you did say that, you're not able to eat anything. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you basically can't really get any nutrition with this. After hearing this, Emiya would say this. Well, the reason why I decided to buy a lot of food is because, well, it just tastes good. After hearing this, Belle would say this. I see. As you would say this. And I've been wanting to basically try out my cooking skills. As Belle would say this. Really? Then, I guess. After hearing this, he would say this. Very well then. As after doing that, they would start getting ready for cooking. As Belle would see him basically, cooking some rice, which bit exotic to him. Because, in their world, they sort of separated this world. And because of the Asian type country in that world is sort of far away, they never really gotten any sort of, exports from there. Except this one time, which they got rice. So, after Emiya gets some, water and basically puts his finger in it for some odd reason to basically measure it, which if you don't know, it's an actual thing in the Philippines, yeah. When I'm measuring rice, we use, our pinky finger or our thumb to basically, check the line. If we have this, line over here in our, thumb, and it reaches towards the water, that's perfect enough. Yeah, that's apparently a thing in our culture, and probably some and maybe some other cultures in Asia. Either way, after putting the water into the putting some water in some rice, putting some rice in the water, he would start cooking it on the fire. As he would start grabbing some of the potatoes that he gotten and also some of the beef and this weird looking powder, which apparently is called curry powder, which he doesn't know all that much, to say the least, as he would basically start cooking everything. Using a lot of spices and a lot of beef, a lot of this weird looking sauce, and some of the carrots and also other ingredients. And after all of this, he would create this weird looking stew, as he would say this. Bon appetit, he would say, as Emiya would start eating it, as he would start, having a bit of a red face, as he would say this. Just like how I made it, he would say, as everybody would start shouting down. As Burgeist would basically try it out, her face would start becoming a red, as, she would start sweating a little bit, causing her body to, causing her, clothing to basically stick to her skin. As for Meliside is currently, sweating as well, as for Belle. As Belle is saying this, whoa, it's quite spicy, but it looks pretty good. As after saying that, he would say this, yeah, I call it curry. It's actually a type of thing that we used to eat back in, well, actually I'm not gonna say it. As after Belle's, hears this, Belle would say this. Cool, I guess. Anyway, after, eating again with the rest of the, hero spirits or, his servants, Belle would basically finish up as, Belle would say this. Oh, that tastes good. But I also need some water. After saying that, Belle would basically go into the little area over there and would start, grabbing some water as he would start drinking it with the rest of his, guys over there. As after drinking it, Belle would say this. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be leaving, this village soon, so be prepared because tomorrow we're going to be leaving, as all of them would say this. Right. After hearing this, Belle would say this. So, do you have anywhere to sleep? You can definitely sleep in the couch there, as one of them would say this. Oh, don't worry, we'll be sleeping over there. As they would point at the little area. Specifically, a little like, a spare mattress? As Belle would say this. Wait, you're gonna sleep on the floor? As all of them would say this. Yeah. After hearing this, Belle would say this. Sure, I guess. After saying this, Belle would basically go into his bed as the hero spirits would prepare their own little, sleeping quarters, which is right next to his bed. As for, Burgeist would decide to sleep right next to, Meliside. As for Emiya decides to, sleep, in the couch. After doing that, Belle would basically sleep. With, the other heroic spirits, they would also fall to sleep. So yeah, I'm going to be ending this episode right off here. So, I hope you're ready for the next episode of this because I'm pretty excited to do the rest of this, what if. Right next to what if Deku was, in Ruby. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!